Life is full of challenges, obstacles, and pain that most people run from. But David Goggins chose to face them head-on, transforming his suffering into unmatched strength. His story is not about talent or luck, but about forging an indestructible mindset through discipline and resilience. In Can't Hurt Me, he shows that the human spirit is capable of far more than we think, if only we dare to test it. From an abusive childhood and obesity to racism and poverty, Goggins endured hardships that could have broken anyone. Yet instead of letting his past define him, he used it as fuel to become a Navy SEAL, ultra-endurance athlete, and motivational figure. His book is both a memoir and a blueprint for mental toughness. If you are ready for growth, like this video, subscribe, hit the bell, and share it today. The foundation of his transformation began with brutal honesty, which he called the accountability mirror. He forced himself to face reality by writing his weaknesses and goals on sticky notes placed on the mirror. Each day, he confronted those truths without excuses. This daily ritual built a mindset of ownership, stripping away denial and pushing him toward relentless self-improvement with no room for comforting lies. One of the most famous lessons in the book is the 40% rule. Goggins insists that when your body and mind scream that you are done, you are only 40% finished. The remaining 60% is untapped potential hidden behind mental barriers. This idea reframes exhaustion as an illusion and reminds us that limits are mostly self-imposed. It is a rule that has carried him through brutal challenges, redefining human endurance. His Navy SEAL Hell Week experience tested this principle beyond imagination. Days without sleep, freezing waters, and endless drills broke most candidates. Goggins, however, chose to embrace the suffering instead of resisting it. He learned that pain can be a teacher, showing us how strong we truly are. By reframing Hell Week as a crucible rather than torture, he turned suffering into the foundation of his mental toughness. Goggins developed a method he calls the cookie jar to sustain himself during impossible moments. Whenever exhaustion or doubt hit, he mentally reached into his cookie jar, filled with memories of past victories. Each recalled achievement provided proof that he had overcome before and could overcome again. This tool transformed his perspective, turning self-doubt into motivation and making his history of triumphs fuel his future challenges. Extreme endurance events became Goggins' laboratory for mastering the mind. He ran ultra-marathons, faced world record attempts, and pushed his body beyond breaking points, not for glory, but for growth. Each event exposed him to pain, exhaustion, and failure, but each one also expanded his capacity for resilience. He proved again and again that pain is temporary, but mental toughness lasts forever when cultivated deliberately. Central to his philosophy is callusing the mind. Just as physical calluses protect hands, repeated exposure to discomfort toughens the mind. Goggins sought out difficult situations, using adversity as a training ground. Each painful moment added another mental callus, making him stronger and less afraid. Over time, he built a fortress of resilience inside himself, unshakable by ordinary challenges or temporary setbacks. Discipline is at the heart of everything Goggins teaches. He explains that motivation is unreliable because it fades when conditions get hard, but discipline is consistent. Discipline is what drives you to get up before dawn, train when exhausted, or work when uninspired. By making discipline his foundation, he eliminated the option of quitting. He became someone whose actions no longer depended on fleeting emotions. Goggins' childhood trauma could have defined him as a victim forever. Instead, he chose to reframe his pain as a source of power. He used memories of suffering not as excuses, but as proof that he had already endured worse. This shift in perspective turned his past from a weakness into a weapon. He shows readers that no matter how dark your story, it can become your strongest fuel. Excuses, according to Goggins, are the enemy of progress. He believed that every excuse is just another chain keeping us tied to mediocrity. By exposing and rejecting his own excuses, he freed himself from self-imposed limitations. His life is evidence that anyone can overcome excuses by taking ownership. He teaches that excuses protect comfort zones, but comfort zones destroy potential if left unchallenged. He challenges people to deliberately enter discomfort zones. Most people spend their lives running from fear, but Goggins teaches that running toward it builds strength. Each time you face fear and survive, you expand your threshold for growth. Over time, discomfort becomes less intimidating and more empowering. This practice rewires the brain to see challenge as opportunity, making resilience a natural response to struggle. Another insight is that most limits are illusions created by the mind. We convince ourselves that we cannot go further long before our actual capacity is reached. Goggins shattered this illusion repeatedly, proving the mind quits long before the body. By understanding this truth, he freed himself from false barriers. His achievements demonstrate that the greatest enemy is not pain, but belief in limitations. He also emphasized setting goals that scare you. Small goals may provide comfort, but they do not demand transformation. Massive goals, however, force you to grow into someone new. Goggins pursued challenges so big that success seemed impossible. The pursuit itself reshaped his identity, proving that the value of a goal lies not only in achieving it, but in who you become along the journey. Vulnerability plays an important role in his message. Goggins shared his darkest struggles openly, showing that strength is not the absence of pain, but the courage to face it. By revealing his scars, he proved that even the strongest warriors are human. This honesty resonates with millions because it shows that power does not come from perfection, but from perseverance through imperfection. He cultivated what he calls the taking souls mentality. When faced with adversity, he aimed not just to endure, but to outperform expectations so thoroughly that others were stunned. This mindset fueled him during competitions and training. It was less about beating others and more about proving to himself that he could rise above any standard. It demonstrates how defiance against limits can fuel unstoppable progress. Each sleepless night and exhausting race became an opportunity for growth. Where most saw punishment, Goggins saw preparation. By reframing suffering as practice, he discovered freedom in hardship. Pain became evidence that he was evolving, not failing. He teaches that if you stop resisting pain and start embracing it, you will unlock a strength that most people will never discover in their lives. Ownership is another recurring theme in his philosophy. Goggins insists that no matter your circumstances, you must take full responsibility for your life. Blame may provide temporary comfort, but it keeps you powerless. When you own your actions, you reclaim control and become unstoppable. Ownership is the foundation of transformation because it eliminates the possibility of excuses or surrender. Consistency is the secret ingredient behind lasting change. Goggins warns that occasional effort does not create transformation, but daily discipline does. Skipping one workout or letting excuses win once might seem small, but over time, it shapes your destiny. By showing up every day, regardless of feelings, he proved that greatness is built from small, consistent actions stacked over years. His lessons extend far beyond elite training. Mental toughness is not just for athletes or soldiers, but for anyone facing challenges. Goggins demonstrates that resilience applies to careers, families, education, and relationships. Whether your struggle is physical, emotional, or professional, his principles of discipline, honesty, and perseverance apply universally. His story proves that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary results. Suffering is universal, but what you do with it defines you. Goggins shows that pain is not the end, but the beginning of strength. Every obstacle is an invitation to discover how much more you're capable of. Instead of running from pain, he ran toward it, discovering that suffering revealed his greatest potential. His book teaches that pain, properly embraced, is the gateway to greatness. Visualization was another powerful tool in his arsenal. He prepared for challenges by imagining every obstacle in advance and rehearsing victory in his mind. By seeing himself succeed before it happened, he reduced fear and increased confidence. This mental rehearsal turned daunting tasks into achievable missions. It proves that success begins internally long before it appears externally, and preparation is half the battle. The message of "Can to hurt me" is simple yet profound. The human spirit is stronger than anyone believes. Goggins turned a life of pain into a life of purpose, showing that suffering can be the greatest teacher. His journey demonstrates that no one is trapped by circumstance if they embrace ownership, discipline, and relentless effort. His story redefines what it means to be unbreakable. As we close this journey, remember that David Goggins' lessons are not just about him, but about you. Each of us has untapped reserves of strength waiting to be unleashed. His call is to stop avoiding discomfort and start seeking it, because that is where growth lives. If this inspired you, like this video, subscribe, hit the bell, and share it with others ready to discover their true power.